Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. So we are well back from our travels and stuff now, and well into autumn, heading into winter, aren't we? Days are getting shorter, there's not as much sunshine, it's cloudy all the blooming time, hence not getting as much power. And some of you know, some of you don't, we have a 628 amp hour lithium battery, Fogstar, and it works really well and lasts a long time. We don't have any gas in the van apart from a portable gas stove, and we use an induction hob and obviously air fryers and stuff like that. And through the summer it's been great. We can just use the induction hob whenever we want, the air fryer whenever we want. We've got an electric pizza oven, everything, right? We've got 700 watts of solar on the roof, bang bang bang, never run out of power. And then the other night, the dreaded death of the inverter noise, which goes something like it's like going, oh, won't somebody help me, I've got no power, like that, while we're sat watching a movie. We hadn't charged up for a whole week. We was on a campsite literally the week before, and we've just been caning it. It's been cloudy all week, and we've just been doing what we normally do, like we do in the summer, and we died. Luckily we have an EcoFlow, yay, which I had fully charged under the seat, so I plugged that in and that got us through to the next day. Now we're back to charging up our EcoFlow every day and going to McDonald's and charging up whatever, EV points if we need to, taking it to work and all that kind of stuff, because English summer is great, English winter, autumn, or even spring, not so great. So we are looking at upgrading the solar further, because I've got a 400 watt panel up there and 3 100 watt panels and 2 MPPTs, easy for you to say, MPPTs, controllers. The 400 watt panel I've got up there is going through a 40 amp MPPT, and for just £95 we can get a 645 watt panel and replace that, and it will fit, because I've checked, which will give us a big increase. And plus I've got a space for another 100 watt panel on the other side, if you know what I mean. So I could upgrade significantly, which will help, but winter is winter and that's what it is. But I know if we're careful and we don't use our induction hob, we don't use our air fryer and just use the little gas thing, we can go between charges about 10 days to 2 weeks. So if you're researching power, batteries and things like that, the 628 amp hour lithium from Fogstar is pretty good. So anyway, this brings me on to a bit of a rant, or a bit of a moan, if you will. Somebody approached me and asked me my advice because they had a campervan with no solar. They wanted some solar on it. Not their fault, they don't know anything about it, they're brand new into it, right? So I said, okay, well, we'll take a look, see what you got, what you need, what's going on. They said, we booked it in to have solar panel put on the roof. Just wanted you to take a look and give your advice before I go ahead and do this. I was like, okay, fine. So we were like, okay, what have you got booked in? And how much? So they were saying it's going to cost £800. £800, okay. Well, I'm thinking £800, well, you should be getting quite a significant thing going on here. All right, what are you getting? It's a stick-on panel onto their pop top, which I don't recommend anyway, not the best. Okay, how many watts is it? Don't know. Okay, so we ring them up. They say it's a 80 watt stick-on panel, no MPPT, straight in, £800. They have cancelled that, and what I suggested they did instead was to buy an EcoFlow Delta 2 like we've got, right? So you've got your lithium battery, 85 amp hours, it's got a built-in inverter, and it comes with, this particular one came with a 110 watt fold-out panel, which you can charge it up with. But you can also, as you know, power stations, everyone knows about power banks, you can take them up and charge them anywhere, right? It takes about an hour to charge them up, and for this particular person, they will get a lot of use out of that in between charges. The battery that they had in the campervan we couldn't even get to, because it was just all screwed in to and hidden under screwed in panels and stuff like that. So, but I can't imagine it being a lithium battery anyway, and it definitely wasn't of any substantial size, just enough to run their 12 volt basically, and obviously they're designed for 240 to be used on shore power, aren't they? So if you want to go off grid, then you need to think about that. Obviously the EcoFlow, there are other brands, but I've had good experience with the EcoFlow. It's not too big and all that stuff. There's reviews. It's going to do them well. But £800 is absolutely disgusting, and these companies that are charging this £800 to stick on an 80-watt stick-on panel, it's daylight robbery. It really is. When you can buy a 645-watt panel for £95, a rigid panel, and an MPPT controller for about £100, maybe £150. You know, and the cabling and stuff like that. It's just, you're drilling one hole, you know, and it's a couple of cables into a battery. I mean, it really makes me mad. I know companies have got to make money, right? But I mean, that's just ridiculous. And anybody that is living in a van, or has converted a van, or has put solar on their van, motorhome, will tell you. Okay, so I've done a little bit of research on this, and apparently £800 is expected for such an installation, even up to £1,100. And all it is a stick-on panel, 80 watts, which goes into a charge controller and then into the van electrics. So it depends on the complexity of the van electrics and access and all that kind of thing. And companies are charging £40 to £60 per hour. Fine. The thing with this is, which I don't understand, and maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe I'm completely out of order saying any of this. I've got solar on my van, and I've helped people put solar into their vans. I've put solar into my daughter's van, and we've got a lot of solar. And we didn't have to wire it into the van electrics. It's a whole separate set of electrics, you know what I mean? It's a panel. That panel goes to a fuse, which goes to an MPPT, which comes out of there, goes to another fuse, goes to the battery. And it's all just completely independent of the van wiring. Don't understand why it's going to cost £1,100 or up to £1,100 to have an 80-watt stick-on panel onto a camper van. Don't know. Am I missing the point? I don't know. Because I did my whole van conversion myself, as friends of mine have done, and whatever. I don't understand why it costs so much money. I understand that, you know, it might be labour intensive. You know, it could take a long time accessing all the wiring and taking paneling down and putting it all back together and all that stuff. I get it, if you want to do that kind of job. And I don't understand why you're doing it like that. Anyway, what's your thoughts? Put your thoughts in. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. But all I know is I've got a huge battery, loads of solar. Didn't cost me nearly that for the parts, and it took me, I don't know, a couple of hours to put in. Don't understand. But anyway, there we go. It's winter, guys, coming up. Power is a problem. This is the first winter that I've done or going to do with the new battery. I only had 200 amp hours last year of lithium. This year I've got 628 plus the EcoFlow, which makes about 700. But I will be upgrading that solar soon. Okay, I think that's enough. I've got nothing else to say in the moment other than don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm putting some tiles in the kitchen in the next episode. Yeah, we decided to. It's just too bare without them. Anyway, see you later. Here's the jingle.
We'll ride these roads forever, side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and love in every turn we take, This band called Amazing Race, no chains will break.